Okay, so I've placed my bias on the center front of the form, placed a couple of pins here to hold it in place. You see, the thing about bias is that when you have a woven fabric, here's my selvage, it doesn't give, right? Length grain doesn't give, cross grain doesn't give. But on the bias, it does. It's slightly flexible, if you will. So in fact, I invite you to take a piece of fabric and start draping something on the bias. You will see that it just hangs differently. And in fact, I'm going to continue with this in a minute and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm beginning to slim the side seam and the waistline to give it a slim fit. Okay, for the back, it's very similar to what we just did in the front. I have a piece of muslin, right? I have drawn my bias grain line, which will go on center back. There was a famous French designer named Madeleine Vianney. She was known as the queen of bias cuts because everything that she designed was on the bias, almost everything. Here's a great book on Madeleine Vianney. She was really popular back in the 30s, 1930s. And because she was really insisting on cutting her fabric on the bias, she was the first designer to eliminate things like buttons and zippers because it could be slipped over your head. Also, she started using crepe de chine, which back in those days, it was only used for lining coats, for the inside of the coat as a lining. She also pioneered seams. You see, when you're cutting something on the bias, sometimes the fabric is not wide enough. You have to insert certain seams. But instead of hiding the seams, she actually accentuated the seams and embellished them and became very decorative. One famous design that she really was known for was the Cowl neckline, which, by the way, is something that I've demonstrated in my previous courses. So there you have it, bias. Now you know what it is, its properties, why we use it, grain lines. Get some fabric, start practicing. I will see you in the next class. Welcome to Fashion Premier Academy. Design your future now.